Hey there, YouTubers. This is one of my night-themed videos, and I'm making this pretty shortly after the last one. I was going on about my new project, the School of Tomorrow, which is just a bunch of Jupyter notebooks on GitHub. Now, I already have quadrate coordinate systems and a lot of volumes and, the kind of stuff we're into at the core of the Fuller School is there. It's just I haven't yet made a lot of explicit links. You can sort of see my latest iteration. I simplified what I'll call the timelines part. I only have dates of birth, and I'm just beginning to like think of a school system where you're all doing Jupyter notebooks and you're all updating a GitHub site. Now it might be the school has its own GitHub site. So it's not really GitHub, that's a brand. But you know what I mean. You've got the school server, and along a lot of my writings, that's been a very important idea that the school is recording and saving for alumni's benefit as well all the performances, sporting events, debates, all manner of student projects. In terms of permissions, who gets to look at what, Princeton has all this. It's not like you can't do this. It's a big deal, and it would take like a lot of focus and concentration. And right now we have other priorities, but I did want to mention that my idea is that it's not like just the teacher is making a curriculum and everyone else is the passive recipient thereof. With Git and GitHub, you can download and interact with the textbook in a sense of change it, add to it, put in chapters that we're missing. We have a very clogged artery system in terms of the free flow of intellectual property because basically generations ago you couldn't afford to let things be free like that because how would you make money? And we're facing that today a lot too. So you have a lot of kind of a lawyer caste that doesn't like the engineering wing branch that's all into everything free because that's going to be like bad for the economy and stuff. But what's good for the economy is you get a lot of knowledge. So I'm thankful, for example, to this what do you call it? Copyleft community Creative Commons. That's it. Creative Commons has a lot of textbook stuff, and I just stumbled across some of them, like some of the textbook stuff, and I'm working on the Fukushima chemicals, the ones that we have to think about and worry about and do what we can to contain. There's a lot we cannot do about radiation in the environment, and except make ourselves feel better with some junk science. There's a lot of that out there. And by the way, before we're done here, so back to this, I realized that first of all, I can't find my stiff cardboard tetrahedron that I've shown on camera a lot of times. Gradually, these things are decaying and falling apart. So tonight, I just want to show the kind of thing that I used to do in like a Montessori school. I also did this in Lesotho in a like third, fifth grade. It was probably a mixed class, Bhutan. It's like we're talking young kids here, and the ratios that I show with the 1 to 3 to 6 to 4 for the octahedron, those are easy to confirm in any standard math. It's not like there's any big secret. The question is, did we ever want to have a tetrahedron as volume 1? And what I'm saying is yes, in American literature. Like if you're in that section where you're reading Edgar Allan Poe or Leaves of Grass, or you're in your 10th grade high school studying American literature, well, let's remember Buckminster Fuller, an American transcendentalist, invented this math that you don't really find anywhere else except in this literature because no one else was able to figure out how to use it or something. But anyway, the cube has volume 3 in there, and I was just going to use popcorn. It was a mistake to use cornmeal and stuff because anything too fine grain, if the floor has slats, if there are cracks anywhere, fine grained, it's hard to sweep up stuff like that. Whereas beans and I would say popcorn, which is what I'm using here, is probably perfect, right? Oh, by the way, check out this. I'm wearing North Pacific, what is this? It's a train shirt. It's kind of kid-like to do that, but maybe this is an allusion to coding train. Okay, so can you see this? I've got a rhombic dodecahedron here and a cube of volume 3. I hope there's enough light. And here we go. 1. So 3 plus 3 equals 6. A few grains did fall out. I acknowledge that. There's one on my laptop here. So fill it up again. So that's our second cup. We could cook cooking show with polyhedrons, right? So all along with this Bucky stuff, what I'm saying is if you're really serious about public education and the American tradition, at some point you got to share that Fuller made up this math with these whole number volume polyhedron ratios, and you got to know that to understand American literature and history. You just got to. There's no alternative. So a lot of you are very ignorant. I'm understanding. All right, there we go. Okay, it's really pretty full. There's still some to spare. I did spill probably. I'm gonna have to sweep. Probably. Oh, I don't know. 30 or 50 grains fell, but there it looks pretty full, right? And if we had water, colored water, if the tetrahedron were here, it would have an edge length the same as the cube diagonal, and exactly 3 of those tetrahedrons would fill the cube. That's all easy to teach. What's hard is how does that tetrahedron get to have edges of 1 and still have that nice volume? How do we do that? And that's kind of where the Martian math comes in. But it is worked out, spelled out. We do get it in synergetics. We have a synergetics constant. It's all there. It's been there since the 70s, okay? It's amazing how many momentous papers get written, but not like just never caught on in literature. There's still time, but what's up, literature teachers? Get on the ball there. How about it? All right. So that was kind of, it's fun. And you could get these, right? You could hand make them, but you could also probably get an educational supply at some point, as your students could, and so on. I'm not selling these. I don't know how to make them fast enough. But colored water is another good idea with translucent kind of plexiglass and stuff. Anyway, maybe it'll happen. School of Tomorrow, signing off.